Welcome to the course. We'll start with a brief introduction to gauge our understanding about artificial intelligence, or AI. First off, the idea of AI is one that emerged many years ago, and what is understood by the term has certainly changed over time. Additionally, as it has become a trendy concept recently, people have ascribed numerous different meanings to it. Now, during this course, we'll explore a specific definition of AI, focused on the creation of mostly predictive models based on data. However, to begin with, we'd like to address the previously stated fact that not everyone has the same idea of what AI is, which is normal since different people have come across the term in different contexts. In their work environment, with family, with friends, in the news. So, we'll do a quick exercise to reflect on what each of us intuitively understands by AI. The goal is to see that the term comes with a certain ambiguity, even though we will assign a concrete meaning to it throughout the course. Right now, I will display a series of objects on the screen, and I would like you to think about whether these objects exhibit AI or not, based on your own judgment. Let's start with recommendation systems. Reflect on the ones used by streaming services like Netflix or Spotify. These systems use your past behavior to suggest movies, shows, or songs you might like. Is this done by AI? Now, a washing machine. Think about modern washing machines. Some have sensors that adjust water levels and wash cycles based on the load size and fabric type. Is this an example of AI? What do you think of the spam filter in your email? It identifies and screens out unwanted messages based on patterns that have been collected from large data sets. Is this a form of AI? What about a smartphone? It has features like voice assistants, Siri or Google Assistant, that can understand and respond to voice commands. Does this constitute AI? If so, does the smartphone as a whole possess AI? Or is it specific apps or even particular functions within those apps that carry AI? For instance, consider the camera's face detection or face recognition features. Reflect on each object and think about why you judge it to have AI or not. All of these examples involve some level of decision-making or problem-solving, but the extent to which they can be regarded as AI varies. Some people might say that the smartphone's voice assistant is a more advanced function compared to the washing machine's sensor systems. Thus, we may notice that the notion of AI tends to vary from person to person. Each individual seems to have a threshold of complexity at which they consider something to be AI. Let's look at a different example. Have you ever heard of the perceptron? You might be more familiar with the idea of a neural network, which is one of the models we will cover in the course. Well, neural networks are bio-inspired. They're based on biological neurons, although they constitute a simplified replica of them. It turns out that the first algorithm of this kind was called the perceptron and was implemented in hardware in 1957. At the time, it had to be physically built. Today, we can program this with a few lines of Python code. Yet back then, the perceptron was praised as a very advanced technology. It was the first algorithm that adjusted the parameters of an artificial neuron, which is a mathematical function based on data. In fact, a New York Times press release stated that it was the embryo of a computer capable of walking, talking, seeing, writing, reproducing, and being aware of its own existence. They certainly thought of it as AI. Today, we regard it as one of the most basic classifiers. A common definition for AI sees it as the ability of a machine to replicate human cognitive functions. But this description is vague and ambiguous. We might ask, for example, whether performing arithmetic operations such as addition and multiplication qualifies as a cognitive function. If that were the case, then this machine here would be an example of AI, right? In addition, what was once thought to require AI is often removed from this category as machines become more complex. For instance, not everyone identifies optical character recognition as AI anymore because it is a common feature in many applications today. To wrap up, in this class, we will focus on a specific conception of AI, essentially a set of mathematical, statistical, and computational methods to solve specific problems. We will learn to identify these problems and see what kind of tools we have available to address them.